Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Immergence Show. At the heart of every great technology, there is a very human desire, the desire to connect with each other in more meaningful ways. Our guest today has made this his life's work. Joining me to explore these ideas is my co host, Zach Schenkler. Zach is the Chief Imagination Officer at Balance AI, a project focused on architecting new systems for intention based collaboration. And in the spirit of our topic today, our guest, Anton Zelenkov, serves as the strategic advisor to this very good project, which we actually discussed in another show episode. So if you guys haven't watched it, go ahead and check that out after. And we are going to talk about Anton's experience with building trust. After a successful fintech exit at 21, he has focused on a tech first philosophy to build verifiably fair systems. Today, we're diving into his new playbook for the partnership protocol, a new model for building trust in our decentralized world. I encourage you all to drop your thoughts in the chat, tag a fellow builder or connector, and get ready for a deep dive. Hi, Zach and Anton. How are you all doing? Thank you for being here. Awesome. Zach, why don't we start with you? Maybe you can give us a quick background about yourself and feel free to share a little bit about Balance AI, this amazing project.
Oh, thank you, Nico. Always a pleasure to be here. Always a pleasure to see you. And thank you for everybody that's joining. Live sessions are always interesting and fun. So it's great to be here. Balance AI is a passion project as well as a project for humanity, is what we like to call it internally at the company. Essentially, personal AI is emerging as an incredible, powerful force for the future. Not only to unleash the agency and the optimization and the actualization of the individual, but to also apply those same principles in society. So, what we're building at Balance is a personal AI system that enables you to optimize and monetize anything that you can create in your life.
Love it. And this exciting project is going to be launched in September. I cannot wait. So we will chat more about that shortly. But let's get into Anton. How are you doing? Tell us, a background about yourself. I briefly mentioned some things, but I would love to hear your story.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the invitation, Nico. As you mentioned, we are working with Zachary for almost years, and I was also excited. First time I've heard about Balance idea, and really I'm waiting with impatience for the release. And I hope that all people all around the world will be satisfied with what we can deliver. So about me, I graduated from computer science, so I have tech background. I was working a bit as a programmer, but not much. And then I started my journey as a founder of a service company providing blockchain development services, company called Red Duck. I did my fintech exit at 21. It was 2021. And after that, I was working in big Swedish-Ukrainian holdings, also for blockchain development. We're working with big banks such as Danske Bank, providing our solutions. Later on, I started my own journey as a supermassive accelerator. So we are helping products in Web3 space mostly, but also AI as well, to with go-to-market strategy, with tech, with marketing, preparing for token launch, pretty activities, helping with listing on exchanges, and raising funds. So all you need when you are building your startup. That's what we do.
Thank you so much for that overview, and we're gonna dive into it deeper. Well, before that, I want to say hi and thank you to our amazing engaged live audience. We have Brian, Shadi, Shada, Dimitro, Jean, Natalia, Felipe, and others that I don't see your comments, but I know you're here. Thank you. Feel free to share your thoughts throughout the conversation, tag your friends, and any questions you may have. Awesome. So let's dig deeper into what you mentioned. So you basically went from computer science to building a fintech company, and then you basically sold that company. Maybe tell us a little bit more about that company, the learnings that you had, some aha moments that you had. That would be helpful.
Yeah. So when I was founding this company, I was pretty young. Like I started when I was, let's say, 18, 19 years old. And that's pretty hard to enter the market. And like in general, you should have a journey of, let's say, like software engineer. Like afterwards, you reach a senior position, and then you can like think about founding something. Your own company, but we did it in different manner. So we, with my colleague from university, like started like searching for our first customer on Upwork platform. And so we've managed to find like pretty good clients. I remember the topic was automation of trading software. And that's how we like jump into crypto space. So that was our first client. And I've decided as a CEO that it should be our focus, like blockchain developments, and that will be differentiating us from other IT service providers. And like we managed to do it. So we've had like top-rated plus. We've had our partnerships all across the world in Africa. I mean, you are from Australia, from London. We've had clients in our first year of work. Also institutional clients from Russia, like before the war started. So that was great success for that years. Yeah, and then I realized that like we are looking different on the next steps of this business with my partner. So he was about, let's say, extreme programming type of management. I was about more classic one with partnerships, agile, etc. So he wanted to be tech savvy without managers and without quality assurance specialists in the company. That's pretty innovative approach, like, and we decided to like go different way, let's say. And I sold my part of a company, and like right now, Redak is still alive. Like it's awarded by Vitalik Buterin. And right now, this company, as it was before, focused on Ethereum, EVM, and Rust-based blockchains like Solana, etc. So, like, I'm in touch with my co-founder, and we are still working from time to time. Like, everything fine. Like, what I realized after this, that if you see that there is not a good match with your partner, so it's better to like quit or ask your partner to quit and continue your own journey. Otherwise, you will not reach the target that you are planning. So.
Yeah, I mean, relationships are so important. And, in any startup, especially, things get hard, challenging. And, if you're not there for the long run and there's not full alignment, it's just not going to work because things can be really hard. I'm sure Zach has a lot to talk about that. What are your thoughts on that?
Nico, trust is the theme of our talk today, right? Is
Yes.
It's an ephemeral thing. It's very human.
Yes.
Right? We all have different ways of discerning trust, of using trust, of bearing trust, right? You trust less, you trust more. Especially a co-founder. A co-founder is like a sibling,
Mhm.
A lot of venture capitalists and angel investors will tell you that when you raise money, it's a relationship. It's like you're getting married, right?
Yes.
Because there's transparency, there's clarity, there's truth, and these are all inescapable things, but yet at the same time very difficult to manage.
Yep. Well said. And it's interesting. So I would love to hear from Anton. Like, how do you see the trust aspect? And that's the foundation of a partnership. So I would love to hear what your findings had been and your insights on that.
So you should be transparent as much as you can, especially when we are talking about business. Like as Zachary mentions, when you are showing your product to investors, like first thing they will be looking at is you, like founders. So like what is your background and how you deal with each other and how do you help each other to build this project. So you should be pretty straightforward in terms of your involvement into the project and what will be your zone of responsibility, how will we measure the results, like what if not, or what if my part, like as a technical leader, let's say, is okay, but your part as a marketing expert is not okay. We are not closing our deals. We haven't managed to find investors, etc. So what we are doing next? So you should be pretty straightforward, and you should have like clear pathway of dealing with each other. And like in management, it's called risk mitigation planning. So you should understand if something occur, like what will you be doing, like, and that should be clear. Of course, it's tough when your partner should believe in the product that you like were building for some period of time, but it should be like fair and transparent. So that's my approach here, and like I'm happy with this as well. When I'm building a project with my like future partners, let's say, if we are on the very beginning of a journey, I always say that okay, let's see our involvement. We will see like clearly what is our zones of responsibility, and we will see if we even need me or you, etc. So if the project doesn't require, let's say, me as Anton Zelenkov, and it will be fine without me. So what is the reason behind me joining as an equity owner, etc.? So that should be pretty clear, and I'm okay with this approach.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you in terms of having the tough conversations first. It will really save everyone's time and effort. So I totally agree with that. But I'm curious in this, world of Web3, blockchain, decentralized worlds where we don't necessarily live in the same place or know each other from before. How does trust look like in those places? Or I mean, even beyond the Web3 space, like the digital world that we live in on the internet, LinkedIn, social media, others. How do you guys see we can establish trust?
Yeah, thanks for your question. Like, let me share one situation with you. Like, we haven't met each other with Zachary. So we are working and it's total online. So we can put it as an example here. So we don't know like each other's background for sure when we are starting to communicate. Like we can have Google Meet, say like, that's my background, like nice to meet you, that's my background, and that is like topic of our potential collaboration. So the first thing that you need to prove here is some, I guess, cases, reputation. You need to check, like in our space, IT in general and Web3. So we have, for service provider, we have Quatch. That's verifiable data here. So you should be looking for verifiable data. So for instance, it should be LinkedIn recommendations, Quatch, Upwork, etc. Some of it you can buy, and you should be aware of it, that you can like, let's say, order from yourself and have good review, like bunch of these good reviews on Upwork, and that's also should be clear to all parties. So so first is transparency, verifiable data, then actual work. So if I say that I'm an expert in product management, so let's try to figure out if it's like this. Yeah, let's have some small task and like proceed weekly by weekly and see the results. We will see the progress, and we'll understand the amount of compensation, amount of equity, etc., that we are okay to allocate for this corporation. And like afterwards, you just see the results. It should be like the goal should be set by smart model, and like management should be clear, and the goals set it from founder should be clear as well. So if we want to, let's say, create decentralized world, yeah, that's our goal. What does it mean? It means nothing. So we need to be specific, like what we need to do to achieve like decentralized world. And that's how trust works in IT and Web3. Also, interesting topic is zero knowledge proofs. So that's how trust works. You don't need to trust your counterparty. So we have an option just to allocate this, let's say, trust task to the program, to smart contract. Let's say Zachary is selling to me video, and I have my money, like stable coins. I need to verify that the video that Zachary is selling to me is what I want, and he needs to verify that I have money to buy from him, and that can be done through smart contracts. If there is some data that should not be disclosed, so here the key comes into. So you can zero knowledge. So you can verify that the data is, but you will not reveal the data itself. So just check the fact. That's also interesting. Yeah.
Awesome.
You know what sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, man.
You know what I find interesting, Anton? Trust existed and was also a problem. Way before decentralization, way before the internet. It is one of the fundamental aspects of being human, right? We meet each other for the first time and we want to trust. I don't want to believe that the person that I'm meeting is a horrible person, or they're going to do something horrible to me, or they have some sort of ulterior motive, right? I want to trust. So when I enter a relationship, or the beginning of a relationship, or a partnership, or a new startup, or a contract, then I want to trust. So this concept of trustlessness, right? How can we design experiences? How can we design technology that removes the definition of not trusting, right? Do I know that your identity is proven, but do I trust the technology? Do I trust that this identity protocol is what it says it is? Now, if you look throughout history, there have been many, many claims throughout the years. Again, not just even Web3 or decentralization or blockchain. This has been going on for, many, many years. But if you look at this cycle, if you look at this history, technology has not proven to be trustless. It has not proven it yet. Right? Yeah. And yet we remain very human in a mechanistic world, in a digital world. So I don't have an answer. I'm just giving you my opinion on the conundrum.
I appreciate it. Anton, do you want to add anything?
I guess that's, I agree with Zachary. Still, we need to trust technology, and that's very hard to trust technology as well. And my own opinion, like, in Web3, engineers, they follow this idea of removing the trust. So that's one of the key points that we need to work hard on ZK, on smart contracts, etc. And that will help us not to trust. You don't need to trust. You will get what you want. But in my opinion, that's that won't work. In my opinion, the basis of cooperation is the trust, and it's if the trust is built between two counterparties, that is a big boost to like anything that they are building together. Like that's my opinion, that it's better to build this trust relationship and like follow this tough path, but as a result you will get more benefits.
Yeah, I agree. And to that point, a lot of these Web3 communities made this okay to be anonymized. And I personally always struggled with that. I know that people had different motivations of doing that. Using these PFPs as their instead of their image, and you don't know who they are in the real world. And then let's say you are collaborating in a DAO and you're supposed to work like you would in the real world. And how do you even do that? Again, going back to the foundation of a human need for trust. I personally always struggled with that. And then they were telling us, like, for in one of these big DAOs, like, yeah, you have to build the trust and your reputation now in this system without mentioning anything about who you are in the physical world. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense, because you have limited time, limited resources, and even limited tools. And then like we were supposed to like apply for these funds and grants, but we're not supposed to say what we do in the real world. It's just like, I always struggle with that. And knowing that you guys have experience in Web3, I'm curious, what are your thoughts about this anonymity aspect?
Yeah, thanks for the question. Like it happened to me multiple times when client comes to me, and that's not like Nico Faros Schenkler, but it's like Ray 1234. That is my customer, and yeah, that's for real. And like we have we have a relationship, we have payments, we have like weekly or bi-weekly meetings to check the progress, but you never know like who who is this person. Yes, sometimes it's true. And if you are active in Discord, so you will see the same. So like X spaces, like the bunch of just anonymous, really even influencers, anonymous influencers that have like 100,000 of subscribers. Yeah. So the question is, how can we trust them? But in fact, we can check if like they are given good insights, if they are helping to earn. Like a lot of people are following like on X influencers to have some insights, like what to buy, what to sell. If you talk about meme coins, if you talk about like AI coins, etc. So you should be following different influencers, and X is the most powerful platform for this. So not LinkedIn, not Instagram, specifically X and X Space.
Yeah, I mean, but even on X specifically, it's full of bots. So let's say someone has 1 million followers, and 80% are bots. Like, am I trusting those bots? Like,
no, you should not. That's in my honest opinion, that's wrong idea that you should trust the amount of followers and the amount of activity. No, from my own experience, the most valuable YouTube channels X are not full of subscribers, let's say. So they can be lower quality, etc. But people are given like real insights, and they are not working for marketing, and that's for me the market. If the person is not working for marketing, so that person has some money, that person has some value behind, and he is sharing his insights with those who manage to find those insights. So that for me in Web3 space, that's valuable, because it's full of scam, it's full of marketing only approaches. And when there is an influencer with let's say good tech background, so good insider information, and from time to time he's posting something, maybe you should follow.
I mean, even that's tricky. Again, I don't want to challenge you too much, but like it's like my own personal experience. Nowadays with ChatGPT and all these LLMs, people can create posts and sound very insightful. But again, what is really inside? And I have had bad experiences. People claiming some things, but then later realizing they're not who they said they are. So I'm just like, putting it out there, curious. Zach, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, you see me itching to answer this question or at least talk about it a little bit. I'm going to frame this in or through the lens of our startup balance that I'm building right now, because this is something that we're trying to tackle.
Right.
We mentioned relationship before. Relationship, whether it's a personal relationship, a familial relationship, a community relationship, a professional business relationship, is based on trust, right? And we choose to want to trust. But if somebody is anonymous, right, is presenting that anonymity online and is not giving you a basis for following that breadcrumb of trust, because we're humans, that's what we do.
Yeah.
We look at temporal history. Trust is temporal. It takes time to build. So if we're meeting somebody for the first time, we got to look at it from a temporal perspective. So there's this concept of reputation. I happen to hate that word because I think it's overused, and it is something that has become distasteful, right? Why are you measuring my reputation? How do you know my reputation? Are you just looking at my digital breadcrumbs? That doesn't mean anything. But it does mean something when you look at a world where those breadcrumbs, whether I'm interacting in my relationship with you as Zachary Schenkler or as, Z Star 157, right? But each of those personas have integrity in how I've treated people, integrity in how I've created and communicated with people, integrity in how I've transacted with people, right? That's what blockchain is. Blockchain is an oracle. It's an immutable oracle, right? That's what it's meant to be, a ledger. So if a ledger is registering and there's protocols on the ledger to say, hey, you're human, or you've transacted, or you've done something successful, or you broke this contract, that becomes history. So for us, there is the human aspect of trust, right? But even in an anonymous world, there is the ability to look at integrity. And for each individual, not to algorithmically look at integrity, but to look at integrity through the lens of their own ethics and their own perception, right? Anton may have done some things that, he needed to do for his family, for his friends, for his business, right? That may be great. I resonate with that. Or from somebody else, I may not resonate with that. It doesn't make it right or wrong. It's an individual choice. That's how we look at trust and integrity and reputation.
Love it. Thank you for sharing. Let's read some of the comments from our audience. They've been very engaged. Brian mentioned about zero knowledge will be the key to opening up capital flows into underserviced communities. Yes, zero knowledge proof is very interesting concept. And Ian is mentioning that it's an identity break. Many people in Web3 want this anonymity. I understand that. They have different motivations. Some say because of the government and their work, they were doing that. Some were really bad actors. So it's really hard to distinguish what's the truth. And Yemi is mentioning, she remembers the DAO that I'm mentioning. The anonymity was a bit sus, as the identity of the top decision makers was mostly known and biases filtered through regardless of the anonymity. Yeah, it's really sad, some of these big organizations, how they operate, and kind of, destroy the trust about other possible communities or DAOs. And Brian mentions the key point of finance is that you can never truly trust another person, called the principal agent problem. Not meaning to sound nihilistic or jaded, but you can never truly trust another person. people almost always work towards their own best interests. Thoughts?
Makes sense for sure. For sure. Yeah. So for this, we have like proof of history. Even if the person is anonymous, like you can check. Still, as Harry mentioned, we have transactions, and we can check. Like still the idea behind some like anonymous votes, like what's we're trying to build decentralized votes, like in fact it can be like revolution, and like in fact it can be not so beneficial to governments, etc. So there can be some consequences of it, like from some data, like when Bitcoin manifest was released, like people from governments was trying to find this person or this group of people to stop it. So that was the initial plan, just to stop all this. But later on, they realized that there's no way to stop it. So that's why we need to go like compliance, ETF, etc. Yeah, to still to control somehow it, and depends on what you are really trying to achieve in this world of decentralization. Do you want your own city with your own rules and be independent from your government, from United States? Like, do you really want it? That can be scary, and if you are really doing it, so that can be there are two ways of looking at it. First is we are looking at regulatory perspective in the European Union, MiCA, in Abu Dhabi, VARA, etc., in United States, and we are trying to come to these organizations, like my partners at Hackendo, so they are now consultant MiCA, and they're trying to achieve some consensus of in terms of regulations in European Union. That's one way of looking at it. Another way, like we don't care about these regulations and we don't care about these governments. We are just building what we are building. We will try to be anonymous. We will be using Monera, etc. We will use mixers. You will never find out from where money goes, what are we financing, etc. And I cannot say that this approach is wrong, terrorist or etc. Like no, it also makes sense. Like depends on what are your real goals, and that's why there is a big amount of anonymous people. Yeah. And there is some philosophical reason behind it, and it can lead to significant changes in future. Let's see, and that's what my partner at Ultranet is building. Like he's trying to build communities. He called it Common Cyber Community Protocol, like USSR. Like if we take like Russian spelling is SSSR, like USSR, but in fact we are not trying to build USSR again, but there was some good ideas, and maybe we need to combine it and like allow people to create their own digital governments and set the rules here. So whatever you want democracy, okay. You want autocracy, okay. But it should be clear to all parties that are joining this type of government what rules are at top of it, and there we should make people to follow them. So as I say to you, Nico, if I created community of type A, there are rules ABC. I am, as a founder of this community, should be following these rules. And if I'm not following the rules that I have set it, in this case, I should be kicked out. And nowadays, if I create group in LinkedIn, Telegram, other community, you cannot kick me out of this group. Even if I'm spreading like anything. Or if I'm the founder of company and I am C-level and I have full control, you cannot kick me out. Like, even if I dramatically changed the way of interaction with other people, if I dramatically change what we are building, so I'm the king here, and like you will be following, or you can leave. So, and that is a problem. That is a big problem here.
And there are people that justify this, saying that I put in the work, I made this. I've been in communities where, or like, even social media, simple Instagram, and, you disagree with whatever the person is saying, and you just, very respectfully sharing your disagreement, and they're like, get out of here. Like, this is my community. Like, if you want to have an opposite opinion, don't come to my group. And it's like, that doesn't make sense, because you need to be open to hearing other opinions. But their justification is like, I put in the work, this is my space, I control it, I have the right to kick people out, and so on. So what you're suggesting is like not having that. Everybody is kind of contributing, and then if they're not matching their values on the foundation of the system, the rule of the system, then they should be treated the same as anyone else.
Yes, and when you're creating, let's say, you have your own LinkedIn, let's say, and you're posting something. You're doing, in general, you're doing your PR, yeah, and there are some rules, so you cannot violate the rules of LinkedIn. You can, let's say, set your own rules. But if your recent partner come into your page and saying that, oh, like, in fact, you scammed me, and in fact, you provided the service that was not so good, and I can share like screenshots of transactions, payments. Yeah, of course, you would like to delete it. That's obvious, but in fact, we should. In fact, it would be great if I cannot delete this post, and we need to negotiate through comments and find out the baseline, like who is coming whom, or there is just like we were negotiating, we haven't negotiated the exact terms, and that's why we don't understand who is right here. But if we have this kind of information open, that would be wow. That would be wow, and it will help to measure the reputation it will have. Yeah. Of course, it's very toxic environment. I agree with you, and that's pretty hard to live in a world like this. But that's tough, toxic, and but world where you can find out the baseline.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very complicated topic. There's so many aspects that we should consider. A lot of people are allowing themselves to be the worst possible character, even worse than they are in the physical world, just because they're behind this computer or phone. So they can comment anything they want. That's always the case. And then, the platforms have their own rules, and they can delete us anytime they want. And then we have some responsibilities as a moderator of our communities and organizations. So like there's so many aspects to that. I want to get into your approach in terms of like using tech to kind of help with all of this. But before that, Zach, do you have anything to add? And before I go to read the chat.
I'll try and keep it short. Just a philosophical point, rather than getting into the weeds of technology or flow or anything else. Decentralized autonomous organization, DAO, right? If you look at ancient Chinese philosophy, then the word Dao translates to the way, right? The way we do things matters. The way we treat each other matters, right? I used this word integrity before. right? I use this word ledger before. I use this word temporal before. These are all conjoined subjects. How we do something and how we treat each other matters. So that's a DAO.
Yes. Love it. Thank you for sharing. And Yemi said, well said, Zach, about integrity. And Brian mentioned the key is to set the contract and accept those that satisfy the terms. So that smart contract we talked about. And Ian says, trust by verify, however we can. And Brian mentions KYC, know your customer, is becoming the new norm. And then Felipe says that's called censorship, and it always fails, like removing what you disagree with. Brian says echo chambers, exactly. And Ian talking about altruism as self-serving, and Brian mentioning it's often a luxury as well. Yeah, it's a very complicated topic. So let's talk about, the tech side that you think, Anton, if you think that is helping. I'm curious, like, if you can share a little bit more about Supermassive, well, Ultranet. You briefly mentioned about Ultranet, but how do you see we can establish trust and partnerships using tech to actually help us more beyond what we already talked about? You're mute.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I've shared the screen. You can put it if you can.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think you're sharing. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so I will share what is our approach at Ultranet, where I'm the partnership officer. So our idea is come from science to power for every individual through engineering, business, social media, money, and then you get power. So in fact, like nowadays you can spread information on your personal LinkedIn, on your Instagram, etc. Like you can earn some money, etc. But it does not convert to real power because like in fact, like in my opinion, we are all operated by big like governmental or close to government groups, and they're trying to be very sophisticated in terms of control of what's going on the planet. Yeah, that's the approach, in our opinion, how we can, in theory, get rid of it. So we have cybernetic community platforms that is open for everyone. We have like transparent governments by the community, AI, or combination, like let's say of both. We have option here to have open database using consensus protocols. So what we are sharing as an organization is not just, let's say, marketing. So it's tech behind. We are building it since 2017. It's fully open source. We are not doing it for profit, and like we are investing our own money, and that is the key. So all what we've built until now is open source and will be open source later on. Like not many projects or organizations are moving in this way. Like fortunately we have this option and we have funds to move like this. So we've created what we call cybernetic communities common protocol approach based on peer-to-peer topology. We have option to provide information, share assets such as accounts, we can use here tokenized assets, RVA, and messages to move between different platforms through protocols. We have our own RDN, but you can apply your own protocol to be used here. So the idea is pretty simple. You could you can create your community. You can use RDN to share information, or you can use your own protocol. Like we don't care. You can put your own. You can create it in a centralized or decentralized manner. That's also important. So if you would like to create the type of community like on Telegram, where you have owner and you as an owner can set admins, then okay, go ahead. But everyone needs to be aware that that's centralized community. If you would like to create DAO and set some rules of operation, then okay, go ahead. And we should do it technically. We have our own anti-malware protection protocol. So there is like a big topic to discuss. That's kind of tech innovation. And of course, if our guests today will be interested, they can just follow the links. Maybe I will be sharing it after our podcast, and you will be able to check tech. You will be able to download it if you want, like try to use some. What we are building now, it's not ready yet. It's fair. That's a social network of stores. Like each store is similar to App Store, Play Market, Steam. You will be able to publish products here, like do the search, download directly from RDN or other providers. What is important here, you will be able to provide feedback, and nobody will be able to delete this feedback. Publishers will have priority in decision makers through voting. So what we mean here, if you as a creator and you are publishing software here, so you are the one who are making this store popular, and that's what's important also for App Store, Play Market. So if we are publishing something that is valuable, like people are downloading it, people are spending money here, so like we are those who responsible of like popularity of platform itself, like App Store, Play Market. But in fact, we are limited here, and we can be deleted anytime from App Store, Play Market. We should be paying like 30% more of fees if like person is purchasing through Apple Pay. And like that is a problem behind it. But on the other hand, it's popular. Everybody is using like this kind of stores. And if your application is not published here, so how will like how people will even know about your application? So we should solve it, and that is a very hard topic, and that will be very hard path to achieve this. But I do believe that if people will be smart, if they will truly be engaged into idea of fair communities, and will be sharing like software and other type of data in a fair type, and will not just give like tons of like millions and billions of dollars just for fees. Like I guess that is a way how to make this world, at least digital world, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very complicated and controversial topic. Thank you for sharing about your project. Is there any specific example that of a community or a company that is already using this platform?
Right now, we are on a testnet. So that means that from architecture perspective, we've changed it multiple times. So right now it's not live, it's only on testnet. We will be live for this spring, I guess. And so we need to finalize what we are building, and later on, like you will see what we have. Like we are showing it to big enterprises, and like they're interested. We're showing it to blockchain protocols, and they're interested as well, like in what we're building. Like let's see where it goes. Here it's different approach. Let's say look at it like on Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin was released, just because of it later on became popular. It was not from the first glance, but later on people realized that that is the power behind it. The same approach we apply here. So technology first. First of all, we need to prove that technology is making difference. It's different to what we have, and we need to prove it among technical communities. Only later on we go to PR, showing to first clients, etc. That's not classic like product management roadmap. We cannot apply classic roadmap of building products, startup, like raising funds, etc. We just cannot, because if we will be raising funds for solution like this, we will lose control. We cannot raise funds, and we cannot allocate big amounts of power to one person or group of investors.
Yeah, good point. That's where kind of maybe crowdfunding or having some way for the community to contribute themselves. Last week we actually talked about the challenging aspect of VC money and how the community can just take the tech and run with it. So very good point. And can't wait to hear more about your project once it's live. I want to hear from you, Zach. You're building this great app and solution, Balance AI, and we talked about the challenges of digital trust. I'm curious how you are approaching that in your platform.
That's do you have another show? Real high level, it is multidimensional, right? It is not just one thing. Somebody, I forget who, mentioned that identity is not the sum of who you are. Identification is what we're talking about. Your identity as an individual is vast. Your footprints, your spheres of influence, who you deal with, your transactions, your own personal history, your business history, what you've done. These are all elements that are pertinent. So in what we're building, the system is multidimensional. Yes, you can have an identity. You can have identification. You can have multiple identifications grouped under that identity. You can have multiple credentials. You can have multiple accounts.
Right.
Furthermore, we're very, very quickly evolving towards this Internet of Agents thing, where there's going to be billions, if not trillions, of agents online, right? Humans are no longer going to use a browser. When's that going to be, right? We're no longer going to be looking at things. Furthermore, AI is going to be creating infinite content, infinite personalities, infinite deepfakes. Right. So how do we begin navigating trust in this world where there's, infinite manipulation?
Yeah.
So it's very, very multidimensional. There's the ability to look up integrity. There's the ability to look up identity. There's the ability to look up credentials. There's the ability to look up the history of contracts. There is the ability to join in consensus. The ability to see what communities you're involved in, right? I don't need to know your name, where you live, what your eye color is, what your hair color is, how tall you are, what you weigh, what car you drive. I don't need any of that information. I just need to know that you've built positive value in your history, right? And furthermore, in a peer-to-peer world, in a radically decentralized world, which was the original promise of the internet, centralization of the internet happened because of capitalism, right? The true promise of the internet was radical decentralization, where every entity, whether you're an individual, an institution, a brand, a university, had the ability to actualize and optimize themselves and represent their knowledge and represent their individuality, right? So it's very multidimensional. There's a lot of technology. There's a lot of new experiences. There's a lot of new things that we're going to have to deal with that we're not even touching or scratching the surface on, right? We're hurtling into a world where quantum is going to be a reality in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Right? again, 4 more shows just to talk about that. So, there's no direct answer, but what it is a multi-dimensional approach where you have to lay out the fabric of solutions, right? And you have to look at how those solutions combine, interact, and create new results, new experiences, right? And it's going to be fluid and ongoing all the time. It's an adaptation and personalization at the most granular level.
Love it. And I really appreciate that you mentioned adding the positive value, but I think even that is controversial. People think that they have added positive value, but some others don't. So it's like a very, as you said, multidimensional and complex topic. Anton, do you have anything to add on that?
I have like pretty good comment comes from Philippe, like in a world of pragmatic decentralization with hybrid models, how do you maintain trust when some parts of a partnership are on-chain and transparent while others are off-chain and private? And yeah, that's fair. And here, that's what I'm talking about. So we need to have open database. Kind of that's approach that we are trying to achieve in Ultranet, to be transparent, and don't have private data until we really need it. And when you really need data to be private, then you can apply. That's also very hard topic, 3 more shows to discuss. Because like we have like data privacy, GDPR, etc. That's very important nowadays. But like our approach that we are trying to spread is that maybe that's wrong. Maybe we need to be open, and even in terms of our very personal life, very personal scenes, what we are really thinking about, and whom are we attracted to, and what do we want to do with this like goal, let's say. If that will be transparent, this private, very private information that we are having, but if people will be okay to see this information public, so that will be harder to keep very important decisions in secret, because like what you lose your privacy. Yeah, some part of this privacy you lose, but what you are getting instead of it, you are getting transparent world where you can like really make wise decisions, and you can affect your government, you can affect your company leaders, founders, C-level management. In this scenario, you can really affect something before some decision was made behind the closed doors, and afterwards it's pretty hard to make some decision. Like unfortunately, in my country, like in Ukraine, it happens multiple times when some decisions are made, really is made like closed doors, behind closed doors, and you have no option to change it.
Right.
Afterwards, you need to deal with the consequences, and it's much harder to deal with the consequences. But if it were transparent, very transparent, then it would be better.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's another show discussion, because being a founder, for example, I know being too transparent can also be challenging. But again, that's another big conversation. But I appreciate you sharing that perspective. We have some comments. Brian mentioned about the idea of micropayments, that could be these micropayments offset by the value gained by monetizing your data, and about the web agents, this micropayments monetization could help, I guess. I don't know, Zach, you probably have thought about that for your platform.
Yeah. Micropayments are going to be, I think, the underlying fabric of the future economy. Whether I am getting 5 cents for some sort of, subscription to my data, or whether I'm engaging directly with the brand that is, sending me a discount offer or digital currency or an experience pass, or, any one of these potential futures, right? So micropayments is not just fiat either, right? Micropayments could be micro exchanges, right? Micro transactions, beyond just data, information. In an infinite content world, maybe I am generating unique, authentic content with a brand and posting that versus, just asking an AI, make the cat move.
Right. Very good points. Thank you for sharing that. And thanks to Brian and Felipe for the questions and comments on that. Before we close out, I would love to hear from each of you. What are you most excited about? And how can people find you? Zach?
I am most excited about the ability for people to monetize whatever they want to monetize, right? That's always been the promise of being a creator, a maker. And we're all creators or makers. Doesn't matter what you do.
Yes.
That's what I'm really, really excited about. And you can find us at www.balance.ai, balance.ai. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you for creating this exciting platform. We can't wait to experience it and highly recommend everyone to check it out. Anton, your turn.
Yeah, thanks. I'm excited of ability to make the evolution of cybernization and gaining personal power the reality. And I hope that I will help everybody with this mission. And you can find me on LinkedIn. You can find more detailed information about my accelerator, Supermassive, and Ultranet's manifest. Read it and check it. Everything on my LinkedIn page. Feel free to follow. From time to time, I'm sharing some insights. Like I'm not doing marketing a lot. Like as I said, I'm trying to share like some valuable thoughts and some technical stuff when we are ready with it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And thanks for both of you for sharing your insights, bringing your energy and experiences into this. I really enjoyed and learned a lot from both of you. And thanks to our amazing audience with their great engagement and comments. Brian, Felipe, Ian, Yemi, Jean, Ritika, Shadi, and Yemi, and others who have joined us. We are so grateful for you, for your thoughts and attention. And we'll be back next week, same time on Tuesday for another great conversation. Thank you, Anton. Thank you, Zach. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Thank you too. Bye-bye.